Colleagues, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you warm greetings from the island nation St. Maarten in the northeastern Caribbean, an archipelago of islands roughly 8,000 kilometers from where we are today. For reference, our island nation is about 7,000 kilometers from the European part of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, of which we are a constituent part. And again, for reference, we share that small landmass called St. Maarten with a French territory. But the land and the people are one. And after many colonial occupations, we have since 1648 peacefully shared this land under the motto of one island, one people, one destiny. Many persons, sadly, from Africa were enslaved and brought to the Caribbean region from as early as the first half of the 16th century, from primarily Côte d'Ivoire, Guinea, and Ghana. Our roots run deep. Understand, therefore, my extreme pleasure and profound honor to join you in the vibrant and welcoming nation of Ghana for the 3rd International Conference on Gender Equality. That I was invited to chair this conference is testimony to your commitment to move ahead together and with purpose. Gathered here from Africa, the Caribbean, Europe, and beyond, we've been shaped by different yet similar histories and cultures, united, however, by one shared and sacred mission, advancing equality, opportunity, and dignity for women and girls across the world. Sometimes we would like to wish away the reach of technology, if only to escape the haunting truth that every barrier to women and girls' equality anywhere becomes a threat to all of us everywhere. Our theme in this symbolic year 2025, charting the next frontier to advance gender equality in developing economies in the post-30 years of the Beijing Declaration, calls us to deeply reflect on the historic and watershed milestone in 1995. 30 years have passed since the Beijing Declaration and Platform for Action transformed the global conversation on women's rights. It set a bold vision that continues to inspire our work today. But 30 years also compel us to confront a difficult truth. The promise of Beijing remains unfinished. 30 years later, the Beijing Plus 30 Action Agenda has been launched. There is, however, not only a resolve to accelerate, but an urgency of immense proportions. Historic gender issues are present in some places and even exacerbated in others. Every barrier to women and girls' equality, I repeat, anywhere, becomes a threat to all of us everywhere. Every little girl deprived of her rights is an assault on the future of us all. The Beijing Plus 30 Action Agenda presents a 10-year blueprint shaped around 6 strategic priorities: a digital revolution that closes the gender divide and ensures women and girls reap the benefit of innovation. It seeks freedom from poverty through decent work and economic opportunity. We want zero violence against women and girls. We want full and equal participation in decision-making. And we want climate justice that recognizes the disproportionate climate burdens carried by women and girls. Yet without the essential engines of financing and gender-responsive data, these priorities have no path forward. Without resources to fuel action and evidence to guide it, commitments remain rhetorical and real change will slip through our fingers. The Beijing Plus 30 global meeting also highlighted key issues that we must confront with honesty and urgency: persistent gaps in economic equality, violence that continues to threaten safety and dignity, and chronic underfunding of gender initiatives. The sad fact is that much more investment is made in preparing for conflict than in advancing women's rights. And on the flip side of that, more investment in women's advancement reduces conflict, saves lives, and promotes peace. I wish I could say to all of you here today and those joining us tomorrow and the following day that here is where it stops. Here is where we could look at the Beijing Plus 30 Declaration and say we have achieved, we have reached. But it does not. I can't say that because we do not have the luxury of time. Climate disasters are growing more destructive. Conflicts and threats of conflict are escalating. And technology, including AI, is increasingly manipulated to spread misogyny, division, and hate. And these challenges are not future concerns, they are here and now, intensifying the inequalities we are fighting to end. But they remind us of one simple truth. Progress is not guaranteed. It must be claimed, protected, and driven forward by determined leadership and collective resolve. And while gender and gender-driven data might not be present in the volume we would like to see, there are countless reports, analyses, research, commitments, and targets in gender equality. There are reports that tell us an undeniable truth. We cannot, we must not give up. We cannot yield, we must lead. That type of work can be found in ambitious programs, like I said before, and many before me, the Beijing Declaration of 1995, the SDGs, and numerous more. So whether on the African continent, or in the Caribbean, the Americas, or Europe, what is required of us and the challenges we face have been identified, painfully so sometimes. I need just mention the recent Beijing Plus 30 Declaration and Plan of Action, the African Union's ambitious gender policy as a driver of development, the CARICOM Regional Gender Equality Strategy, the Regional Gender Equality Strategy of Latin America and the Caribbean 2023-2025. And my questions to you, dear brothers and sisters, is whether this Accra Declaration is going to bring the breakthrough. It is against this global backdrop that the ICGE 2025 carries such weight and expectations, and none too soon. This conference is not only a simple annual gathering, and it should not be. It is a movement, a transformative space for learning, dialogue, innovation, creativity, and solidarity. Over these 3 days, we will participate in keynotes that set strategic direction, plenaries grounded in experience and evidence, workshops that build concrete skills, and panels that deepen insight into the complexities of transformation. We will engage with artivism and storytelling that humanize policy, reminding us that gender equality is not abstract, it is cultures, it is politics, and it is lives lived. Coming from the Caribbean island of St. Maarten, I recognize that while our nations differ in size and context, we share the same aspirations, societies where women and men contribute fully, where rights are respected, dignity upheld, and equality practiced rather than promised. As president of our small parliament, I realize every day that progress begins and ends with courageous leadership, with laws that reflect justice, with institutions that model fairness, and with citizens who choose integrity over indifference. Equality must not only be written in legislation, but also lived in our cultures and respected by our cultures. Again, I wish I could say, here is where it stops. But it does not. Because as we envision the next frontier of gender equality, we must acknowledge a reality shaping every dimension of our world. Our future will be digital. Technology now influences how we learn, communicate, work, and increasingly how we govern. Artificial intelligence shapes what we see, what we buy, and sometimes even what we believe. Digital platforms shape economic access, social connection, and political participation. This digital revolution presents both profound promise and profound peril. Today, women remain 17% less likely than men to use mobile internet. And in parts of sub-Saharan Africa and the Caribbean, the gap reaches nearly 30%. Girls remain underrepresented in STEM fields, the very fields that will define tomorrow's jobs, leadership, and governance. Online harassment and gender-based cyber violence silence women's voices and restrict their participation. The digital divide is not only about devices or connectivity, it's about power. It's about who designs technology, who controls data, and who benefits from innovation. If women and girls are excluded from the digital economy, they will be excluded from the future economy, the future parliaments, the future schools, the future medical and technological research. And yet, with vision, technology can be the great equalizer, connecting rural communities, expanding education, democratizing healthcare, strengthening public services, enhancing democracy, and opening opportunities once unimaginable. It allows the message of this conference to resonate all over the world. A woman with digital access gains information, independence, and economic possibility. A digitally empowered woman is not only an economic actor, she is a full participant in democracy. In the Parliament of St. Maarten, we have devoted the 2025-2026 parliamentary year to the theme, Building Digital Trust, exploring a national AI strategy and further development of an open parliament. This is not a commitment to technology for its own sake. It is a commitment to ethical, inclusive, transparent digital governance, governance rooted in public trust. We are examining how AI can support legislative efficiency and accessibility, strengthening digital portals to deepen civic engagement, and ensuring every digital system upholds fairness, privacy, and human rights. Because while digital transformation can accelerate equality, it can also deepen inequality if women are not purposefully present in its design. Take note, my brothers and sisters, AI will reflect the values of its creators, and if women are absent from its creation, their realities will be absent from its intelligence. The advantage we have over AI is that it is not really creative. It is created. And the question is, by whom and why? Therefore, to close the digital gender divide, we must act across multiple fronts. We must ensure universal digital literacy from an early age, giving girls the tools and confidence to shape technology. We must expand access to broadband devices and innovation hubs in both rural and underserved communities. We must strengthen laws and cultures that protect women from cyber violence and online misogyny. We must ensure women are represented in leadership roles across AI ethical boards, data governance bodies, technology companies, and we must finance this transformation, ensuring that women-led innovation is supported, scaled, and sustained. We must engage and empower the creativity of young women and men to take charge of the digital frontier with the same passion we pursue gender equality for a better tomorrow for all. This will not happen by chance. It will happen by change. And change is happening. Women are confidently leaping onto the technology bandwagon and leading the charge of change, often overcoming countless barriers. Just for starters, and to mention a few, across the region, St. Lucian leader Dr. Kem Lauren Lubin and Dr. Gail Rigobert are shaping global policy through the AI Global South Summit Foundation. In Jamaica, Camilla Taylor is expanding opportunities for young women in software development and emerging technologies. From Trinidad and Tobago, aerospace engineer Dr. Camille Waldrop inspires girls to aim for career in robotics, space science, and engineering. In Barbados, Ambria Holligan is using virtual and augmented reality to expand accessibility and inclusion for persons with disabilities. And right here in Ghana, Angela Carrier-Martin Yimoh stands as a powerful symbol of African leadership in technology as founder and CEO of Brainwave Africa Tech, and formerly as Microsoft Strategic Partnerships Lead for Africa and the first African woman to serve as IBM Regional General Manager. And still across the African continent, leaders like Mariam Jammeh of Senegal, Angela Odur Lungati of Kenya, and then, not to forgetting, our St. Maarten, where our young lady Ife Badijo, founder of Islandpreneur International, has launched the groundbreaking AI Island Summit, positioning small island developing states at the forefront of AI readiness and equipped Caribbean entrepreneurs, especially women, to innovate, compete, and lead. These women, from Accra to Phillipsburg, from Kingston to Castries, show us that women are not waiting for permission to shape the digital world. They can, and they are. And as we mark 30 years since Beijing, they remind us of something essential. The next frontier of equality cannot be written in policy. It will be built in code, in classrooms, in boardrooms, in parliaments, and in communities. It will depend not only on who has access to technology, but on who alters the system that will define our collective future. As we begin this conference, let us remember that technology is not the destination. Equality is the destination. Technology is the vehicle. Our responsibility, thank you, our responsibility is to ensure that the vehicle serves every woman and every girl safely, ethically, and inclusively. But our responsibility does not end with acknowledging this truth. It begins here, in this room, in these conversations, and in the commitments we forge together over the next 3 days. This conference is not a pause from our work. It is a sharpening of purpose for the work that must follow. The real test of the ICGE 2025 will not be in the applause we receive here today. It will be what happens when we return home to our parliaments, our communities, universities, businesses, ministries, and movements. It will be measured not in speeches, but in laws enacted, programs funded, budgets reshaped, digital spaces made safer, and opportunities created. It will be reflected in whether the lives of women and girls become safer, freer, healthier, more prosperous, and more powerful just because we gathered here. What will be the next lap, the next 5 years to the SDGs target of 2030? Can we accelerate the movement forward, amplify the voices, seek out the champions, the enablers, the influencers, the scholars, the artists, and the artisans? Can we see an investment in gender equality and in a livable future for all as the return on investment of a lifetime? Can the businesses see the investment in gender equality and in a livable future for all as the return on investment of a lifetime? You are the champions of that livable future for all. This conference is but a starting shot, not the end of your responsibility towards the next generations. So take it with you to your work and institutions, in your daily decisions, and be mindful of the urgency. You are here because you recognize that there is still so much to be done, and you cannot let the sheer weight of it wear you down. You need to hear that your burden is not only yours, that still way too many biases exist, and too many young boys and girls and women are victims of conflict that do nothing for them. Yet, we expect them to be our torchbearers. Let our deep beliefs in humanity guide how we allocate resources, which innovations we support, whose voices we elevate, and what futures we choose to build. Let us commit to being the generations that does more than diagnose inequality. Let us be the generations that dismantle it, the generations that understands that equality is not merely promised in declarations, but lived through deliberate action, accountability, and courage. As we leave this conference on Saturday and return to our nations, let us do so with renewed resolve to challenge systems that exclude women, to strengthen the policies that protect them, to invest in the innovations that empower them, and to insist on representation that reflects them. And as women and advocates for women, I beg you not to become weary. The work ahead is not for tomorrow. It is for today. It is for right now. And it is for each of us. This conference is as good as any to say thank you to the sponsors and donors of the dream we hold of a better world. The agencies, but especially the troopers who tire but don't get weary, who fall but don't give up, who won't be silenced no matter the price, who use their God-given talents to turn the impossible into the inevitable. May our work here in Accra strengthen not only our united vision, but also our united will to build a world in which equality is lived, practiced, defended, and advanced every single day. I thank all of you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to you today. And may my message serve as an encouragement that there is still so much you can do to make this world, this city, your community, my island, my villages, better places for all of us. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we have the anthem of St. Maarten played? To a pleasure. Thank you. I hope it sounds familiar.
Where the world say where you find an island so lovely, small, with nations free, with people friends, though talking English much, as they say, St. mountains green, variously in sunlight she
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.